Good morning once again, and welcome to our 19th. I think it's 19th, if not 18th, but I think it's 19th lecture of creating mobile applications. I still remember when we started this journey, and I applaud everyone who is still pushing. But if it's your first lecture, still no problem, feel at home. But all what I can say is let us keep around, keep pushing until we complete what we all started together. So as you can see, I've already started our emulator and the application that we have been doing, and I've already opened the source code. As I told you, this source code I share it on GitHub, so in case you want to get started with what I've been doing, or you want to remind yourself, you can clone the source code, and the link I always paste it in the description of this video series. So without wasting much time, we're going to go straight to our business where we stopped at. And you remember yesterday we stopped at a point where we were able to insert data. I mean, we were able to create uh, the table on a local device. So today we're going to resume from there, and we're going to learn how we can insert data into the table or in a local in a local device or on a mobile phone. So without wasting much time, let us go straight into business, and we proceed from where we stopped at in the previous class. So let's start. I hope you can hear me clearly. I hope you can see my screen clearly. If I can get feedback from one of you, it will be very useful. Members, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
And you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Okay, as we always do it, we're going to do 60 minutes. As you can see, our time was already started. So I call upon all of you to be very much attentive, concentrate in these 60 minutes, so you should not miss any bit. But after 60 minutes, then you can go and play and do anything that you wanted. But in these 60 minutes, please try to concentrate and give this gift to yourself. Okay, so let's go straight into business. Enough of introduction. So last time, uh, this is what we did. We were able to create a what? A table. So if you come in the console and they click on run, you can see table was created successfully. If I click there and you remember when we add, if the table is already created, it should not be created twice. It helps us not to create a table twice and helps us to throw, not to get that error. So you see everything is successful. So today we are going now to see how we can insert data into our table. If you remember, our table is having a model of movie, whereby a movie will be having uh, the ID, it will have the rating, it will have the title, and then it will have the what, the actor, and what, and the category. So this is the form that we did. And you remember we stopped at the point where we were able to enter the information and we're on the point of saving movie. So without wasting much time, let's start. So let us first go to where this form is. So this form is under local database, this chapter, and then it is under database create screen. So if I come to this, you'll see, I think I should increase I think the font is clear. So it is here. We're having, uh, is it here? Nope. Create table. No, this is a create table. It is here, insert. Okay. So you still remember we're collecting the movie title, we collect the movie string, I mean the movie actor, and then we collect on the what? The category on change, and also collect. Uh, and when you click on submit, we're calling a function, this one, save movie, this function. So we first validate, and then we had to do some toast that it's time to save. So if I click on submit now, we see we enter correct movie title. So let me say Avatar, and then if I click on save, there is enter movie correct. This is what movie title is. correct actor. Okay, movie actor. So if I click on save, should be enter correct movie actor. So let me say maybe games. Then when I save, still I have to select the category. So if I select the category, avatar, it can be drama, and then I say save. You see, it's time to save. So now we're going to write the logic of saving. Okay. So the logic of saving, we're going to put it inside what? Inside this movie uh, model, so that everything that will be dealing with the saving of the movie model, it will be inside there. So I'll come here into this class of movie model, which is here under models under movie model here. So we are going to create a method that is going to be working on the logic of what? Of saving. So I'm going to call it save. Okay. So I'll just simply come here and create another method. I'm going to call it save. It will be saving the object itself. Okay. So now after there, I have to make sure that the database, of course, when you're about to save, you have to make sure the database is created. Okay. So the database is, I mean, the table is created. So I'll be calling this table create to make sure that everything is well before we do what, before we proceed. So I'll just simply come and call this method of table create. So I'll call it here, so that I should not try to insert before the table is created, right? So, and remember, this will help us to create the table only one time. So I'll put here await. So await means that this can take time to create the table, so you have to wait for it. Otherwise, if you just call it like this without putting await, then it means that it will not wait for it. It will go to the second line. So there will be two processes that will take time, but they're operating the same time. So it means that before you create a table, you'll be trying to do what? To insert data. So you have to await. So that's the synchronous process. So you have to put here await. Then if it brings an warning, then means here that you have to put asynchronous or put async to mean that this method can be waited for this formula. I mean, this save can be waited for because it takes time. So you can write here manually the word async between these brackets, or you can simply press Alt and Enter. I feel like this font is still small for people who will be viewing the. Let me come and increase it. Let me make it maybe 22. Okay. So so this is asynchronous, so we have to wait for it. So I'll press Alt and Enter so that it should suggest for me here asynchronous. I can as well type it, or I click there and then I click here and then say asynchronous. So this will be made asynchronous. So meaning this method will be waited for. Otherwise, if you don't do like this, that means that it will skip this part. So that is very important. So you make sure the table is created. So the next thing is now to write the logic of what? Of creating a movie. So you can come here to documentation and then you can look for what? For insert. So inserting, it has two ways. You can either insert using a transaction, or you can insert using just a plain normal insert or row inserting. Okay. So let me use this row inserting, and then later I'll come also and use the other way of inserting. So this is how you insert data. So you just simply come here. First, make sure that your database is open, and you still remember how we open our database. So you just simply say variable db equals await open database. This is a method that comes in the library, and then you put the name of the database, which is we saved under application configuration in the local db path. This one. So you can first check if the database is open or not before you mess. So you can do like if db is open, then you can say print maybe yes, to see that if it is open or not. Yes, and if it's not open, you can do like this and check if it's not open, which here uh, no. Okay, no. So that one will help you not to go into errors. So in case maybe it failed, so I'll comment this and I save. So if I'll come here to run and I click on save movie, you'll see um, I'll have to call this method save now. Okay, I've not. So I'll have to call this method of save, right? So I'll come here to database insert screen. So after validation, I'll have to now save this movie. So I'll say my movie dot what dot save. So it will call the method of saving itself. So I'll save it like that. So I will come here and see if the database was opened or failed. So if I click on save, you can see here the database was opened successfully, right? It was opened successfully. So let us go ahead and check if it was not opened successfully, then we should return, right? So I'll come here and say if the database is not opened, where is it anyway? It is here, right? So I'll come here and say if the database is not opened successfully, I can maybe make a toast and say it failed. Okay, or I can return. So I'll make sure that by the time it passes this level, the database is what? It's opened successfully. So it reaches here. So the next thing is now to do what? To insert into the database. Okay. So if you want to insert into the database, it's just very simple. Just simply write await, and then you put the table name where you want to insert the data to. Okay. So the table name, it can be, sorry, await, then you say db dot insert. So this is the database that we just open and then insert. So the table name, we have to specify it here. You still remember we had to define here the table name so that we should not do what? We should not do repeat ourselves. So our table name, we can just simply put table name like that. Okay. Then we'll have access to it. So we'll know that our table name is constant. So in case we change the table name once, everyone will be updated. Then the next thing is the value. So the values, you can enter them in form of a what? Of a JSON, or in form of a map and a what? And a map of string and string like this. A map of string and string. So let us go ahead and insert this movie. So to insert the movie, we'll just simply open the curly brackets like this. So that's our JSON. So we can start coding it. So which things do we want to insert? We will want to insert three things. The ID, you still remember, we said it will be auto incremented. Okay, it will be auto incremented if you still remember here. Okay, so we just want to insert these three things. So I'll just simply come here, I first paste them here. So we want to insert the title. So you'll have to put it into brackets, into quotes, so that it should be in form of a JSON. So the title will be here. So you can also simply say maybe this the title. Then you put comma, and then you go ahead and do actor. Then we'll come and put category, category, category. So that is how we'll insert the data. So you can surround this one with try and catch if you want to see if it enters successfully or not. So I can surround this guy with the try, and then I catch here the error in case there is an error. So if it reaches here, I'll know it was successfully. So I can put here print movie saved successfully. It's one word, fully. Okay. The other side, I can say in this catch, I can say failed to save movie, and I can put the reason, maybe say because, and then I put this catch, the e to string. So here they'll give me the reason why the movie was not saved. So like this. Okay, let me first comment this print so that it should not disturb us, the print of creating the table. Maybe leave this one for error. Okay, for successful creative table. So that is how I'm going to do what? To save my movie. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'll just simply come here, say save. So I'll click on save. So you see, beautiful, movie saved successfully. If I click again on save, movie saved successfully. So that is how we can do some basic saving of movie into the database. So another thing, they'll be giving you back. So that is point number one, how you can save. So another thing, they will be giving you back the ID of the movie that has been saved. Okay. So if you want to receive this ID, it is up to you. So I can just simply say int, maybe uh, new ID. Say new ID. Okay. So this is the database ID, or I can say DB ID. Remember, it will be auto incremented. Okay. Or table ID, whatever. So if you want to receive it, you can receive it like this: movie saved successfully with ID, and then I can do like this, and I put the ID there if I want to see it here. Okay, so if I save, that is how they can give me back the what, the ID. So I click on save, movie successfully saved with ID number 3. So you see, it is saving them, and the ID is auto implementing. So that is so beautiful. So that is one way. So now I want to show you some techniques that you may need. Uh, this one can be painful to hard code this by yourself every time when you want to convert this data into JSON. So it would be wise if you create a method that will be converting a certain object to JSON. So maybe in case you want to upload this on a server, to the server will accept the JSON, you just call that method other than you repeating yourself. Okay. So let us go ahead and create the method that will be converting a certain object to JSON. So I'll come here and create that method here. Okay. So instead of us repeating ourselves, we better do what? We better create that method by ourselves. So I'll come here and create that method. I'll call it to JSON. So if you write this method exactly like how I've named it, it will help you to even use JSON in code to automatically copy code this object into JSON. So I'll say to JSON, and then I put curly bracket here, and then this of course will be returning what? Will be returning a JSON file like this. I mean a JSON object or a map object like this. So I will just come and copy the same thing that I had here, and I do what? And I paste it here. Okay. So it is just the same thing, right? It's just the same thing. So when I call this method, it will be responsible for converting our object into JSON. So if you want to write here any kind of logic, you can write here. So in case maybe you want to see if something is null, should be ignored, etc. You can do that logic here. So that's how you can convert to JSON properly. So let me come here. So instead of we hard coding it, I'll just simply say this dot to JSON. Sorry, to JSON. To let me just copy it. Is it to JSON, right? To JSON. I don't know why it's so. Yeah, like this. Yeah, it's beautiful. So this one will be responsible for converting. They say that this is not necessary, so you can remove this. Okay, it's beautiful. So this will be responsible for converting this particular object into JSON, and then we call it here. So that is a better way of how you can do that. So if I come here and try to run, so you see, movie was entered successfully. So that is one way of inserting the movie. I mean, inserting data into the database. So the second way, there is how you can insert data into the database using transactions. I think that one you'll have to come and do it by yourself. In case you want to insert, there is batch insertion. Maybe you want to insert so many movies at once, so you can use this db.batch, and then you insert the items, the category, and then you insert the what movie. So there's another way how you can insert using transactions. That's what I want to show you, but that one will give it yourself as a challenge. Here, you see, you just open a transaction. So here in the movie, I mean that database will make sure that that is first completed before it is done. So this one is also helping you from SQL what? SQL injection. We just simply put and then say await, then you open this database, which is db the transactions, and then you put transaction, you put a sync, then you put here, then you can either run this normal raw SQL insertion. You can as well write your own SQL, by the way. You can write your own SQL. This is the second way. So this is the third way, using uh, predefined methods. Okay. So you have three ways. You can either use the JSON way, which I like, or you can write your SQL manually like this, or you can enter using prepared statements. Okay, prepared statements like this. So you have all the three ways. So for me, I'll stick to this one. So in case you want to learn deep and practice deep, you can come and try this by yourself. So that's beautiful. So that's how we start data into the local DB. So if I come here, start, ah, so I'll have to put here maybe success, something like that. So if you want to listen whether it was successful or not, so you can use that logic whether it was successful or not. So you can do here maybe make this guy to return something. So if something is returning and it is asynchronous, you have to make it also. You cannot just say maybe boolean like this, okay? Like to return boolean. No, you have to put future, like you tell whoever will wait for this, I mean whoever will call this method into expecting something to come back, he has to know it is a, it you have to wait for it in future. What I can say, okay, he has to know that it is a what, it is a synchronous function. So that's how you define a function that will return something but it will take time. Okay, so you just simply say future and then you put here the data type that you expect to return. So I'll come here and say maybe my boolean, maybe I can say success. You can call this guy success. So by success, by default success should be false. Okay, so in case it failed to open database, I'll return false. In case it successfully insert, so I'll have to come there and make it true. Okay, like this, true. So that's the only scenario when the success will be true. So in case it fails, I'll come and make it what, and make it false, like this. Then at the end of the day, I return what? I return the variable success, return success. Okay, so this success will be turned into true only when it successfully executes this. So I have to show the other side, whoever who is calling this, I can tell them whether it was successful or not. So how do we do that? I will just simply come now to a what, to a method that is calling this. I'll just simply come and say, which is here, right here. So I'll have to wait for it also. So if I wait for it, it will have to also be this one, have to also be async. So I can say maybe boolean and say maybe response equals to await, because it is a method that will do what, that will take time, await. So generate await to be give you a warning because of not make this function asynchronous. Press alt and enter to ask you to make it asynchronous. Now it is asynchronous, so the warning will go. So I can come and say uh, if await is true, I say maybe movie successfully saved. Maybe saved successfully. Okay, and in case it is failed, I can say failed to save more. Else, I put here uh, failed failed to save. So if you want to get the reason, you can find it in the what, in the throw. So I say I save. So if I click here, you see movie saved successfully. So at this point, you may need now to do what, to clear your form. Okay, if you want to clear your form, there is one more thing that you have to do. So I want to maybe reset the form. So this form I had not shown you how uh, to target it, how to call it using keys. So I'm going to show you how you can reset the form. So to reset the form, you just simply come and do some more research here on Flutter form builder, the package. So search for something called key. So this key, this global key, it will help you uh, to do what, to 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 allocate a special controller on the form, so that you can be able to control it, you can collect values, you can reset it. So right now these fields are just independent field. You have no way we can control this form in a single way. Okay, so we have to find a way of how we can control this form in two by using one key. Maybe I want to reset the whole form. Maybe I want to get a specific value. Maybe I want to update a specific value. So we did not have that way. So I had not shown you that. So I'm going to show you how you can target a specific form. So if you want to target a specific form, you have to surround it with what? With this form builder. Okay, I had not shown it to you. So I'm going to surround it with the form builder, and then you allocate for it a what? A key. So this form builder is like a what? It is just like a widget. So I'm going to create a temporary widget here. So you can come just outside the form, outside the form, for example, here, or you can come here, so that you make sure that your form builder is going to circle or surround the entire field that you want to control. So I can simply come here at form builder and I surround it with what may be a center, and then I change this center to form builder, this guy. Okay, so I change this guy to form builder, so it is there. So the other thing that I'll have to do is now to define the key that I will use to control this form. So to define that key, you just simply put a parameter called key, and then you define your key. So this key can be a variable, and this is how you can define this variable, like this. So I'll just copy this guy and put it on top, but you can change the naming. So by doing like this, I'll have allocated a special variable to control my what? Control my form. So for example, I want to reset the form. Okay, I want to reset the form. So I'm going to come here and use this method for testing. I hope you've understood. So I want to reset this form. So I can come here. Let me come here to saving and return just. So I'm just going to use this method for testing for now. Okay. So I want to reset the form. So to reset the form, you'll have to call your key and put dot. Is it like that? Yeah, I think that get state is current state or something like that. Current state dot reset. Yeah, like this. Okay. Is it hope? I don't know. I think I have to put here explanation mark because it can be null. So doing like this, it will help us to reset the form. See, it has been reset. So if I put here something, I put here something, and I click on, you see, it resets the what? The form. That is so beautiful. So it means that we have a way how we can control the form. So that is, it is very, very interesting. You have so many things that you can do with this current state. Now, for example, before, assume that you want to collect the data here. You want to validate the form. You want to, for example, I want to validate the form, right? How would I do that? So you can use this key to do all that. But I've not taught validation. I'll come to that. So this current state, you can use it to collect, to listen to fields programmatically. You can use it even to update some fields. Okay. So before, how could you update the field? So you can update the field like this using patch. You can update one field, or you want to update all fields. So maybe I want to update maybe the movie title, or is movie title, movie title. Uh, okay, movie actor and title. Okay, so I want to update movie actor and title. So I can just simply come and say movie actor, maybe Jackie Chan. So movie title, I can maybe say um title and make it maybe the Drunken Master. Okay, so I can delete these other parameters. So I have put here exclamation mark. Yeah, so you see, it's beautiful. So let me comment this receipt. So you see, I can programmatically update my what? My form. Some form will need to update their data. Okay. So you see, when I click on, you see, everything is updated by this control. You can as well get the value programmatically. Okay. So if in case we want to get the value, we just simply put this guy. You see, this is how we can get the what? The value. Okay, so maybe I want to get this value manually or programmatically print, and then you say dot. So you specify here, I say fields, and then you put here what you need to collect, and then put maybe to string. You see, that's how you can collect the value. So if I run it and I click on save movie, you see, is it that fields that then you specify the actor and then string. So it has to be no, sorry, that value. That value, yeah, like this. That method. Um, question mark. Yeah, hope that's it. So if I save, go save, you see. So by doing like this, you can be able to collect the value using this key. So that key is very important to control your what? Your entire form. Really, really important. So these things will be learning them along the what? Along the way. So you can come and learn more deep about these forms. So I'm going to comment this guy here. So in case you want to look at this code, you can come and look at it. Yeah, maybe I put a comment, collect values and updating values using a key in a form. So you can come and do that. So I'll comment this. This is a reset. So I want when a movie is successfully saved, we should reset the form. So I'll come here. I'll check if it is successful. I'll reset the form so that the user should not enter the movie twice. So let's go ahead and do that. So uh, movie title Drunken Master, actor Jackie Chan, and then movie category it's action. So I save, boom, movie saved successfully, and my form is what is reset. So that is how powerful the form key is. So go ahead and play with it. So in case it's successfully saved, you can as well control maybe and leave this screen by using navigator.pop. But it's up to you how you want it to do it. Okay. So if I do like that, then it will have to pop up the screen. So that's it. Okay. So that's it. We proceed to the next topic. But I hope you've understood how we can do it, how you can save your information or your data to the local database. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Movie save this guy here. And this is the whole logic that you need to save. Convert, open the database, convert data to JSON, and then insert it like that. So hope you'll practice that and understand it. So we proceed to the next thing, which is now how can we display um, the movie that already in the database. So let's go to that straight. Okay, let us go straight to that. So I'll just simply come here and do what and create that function here. I mean that link here that will take us to the screen that will create the movie into the database. I mean that will display the movie from the local database. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to add it here. So I'll come to our main, and then I come to our main class, our main screen. Where is it? It is somewhere down here, right? This one here. Okay, so I'm going to put here. This was insert data. So I'm going to put maybe display data or select data or retrieve data. So let's go ahead and get this last method and duplicate it, last widget and duplicate it. So I'll paste it here and then maybe I can call this one db select. Let me call it select for getting select data from db from data from table. Okay, so let us use a right icon. Can call this guy maybe list like this, and then how to get data from local db. So I save, and now that should be here. Now let's go ahead and create that screen. That screen, I don't know how it should look like, but no problem. Let's go ahead and duplicate. I don't know which screen we should duplicate. I don't know. Okay, so let's get any screen to duplicate. I think we can duplicate this screen where we land columns. Any screen you can duplicate it. Okay, let me duplicate this screen of what? Of db insert. We'll just make it. Okay, so copy paste. I'm going to call this guy db database select screen. So it's going to do the logical selecting. So I'm going to come to this and then rename everything, Control F, Alt and Enter, and then I rename. I paste database select screen. Then I come and change the title here and call it get, maybe get data from tables. Okay, and that's the title. So let's go ahead and make sure that it's displaying. This has just closed. I'll open it again. And my controls, it is here. Okay, so I will go ahead and put this method, this screen into a menu so that if someone clicks here, you should be able to open it. So that is it, database select screen. So I'll press Alt and Enter, it can be imported. So that is okay. So I save and then come to bottom, it is there. So when I click there, it brings us to screen, get data from tables. I can call it movies, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that logic of getting data from tables. So I'll come to this get data from tables. I'll come and where is it? It is here, database select. So I'll come to this main child, this guy here, and just delete everything here, and just as simple as that. Text, maybe I can call this one get data from table, just on the main body, and then I come and remove this useless function. Okay, so like that. So that's it. So let me first put here just a temporary thing. When I click on, it should do the logic of getting the data. So let me put just a raised button. I think let me change this guy to column. Let me first get this button that we had first. I hate creating buttons from scratch. Do you have it? It is here. Then I go back to future. Then I'm going to make sure I'm going to make this guy a column, and then I put here our button. So call this guy get movies. Okay, movies. So I'm going to create a method here that will be getting movies from the database. Okay, and do the logic of displaying those movies. So I'm going to call this guy get movies. So I press Alt and Enter so I can create this method. So here I am. Okay, so I can print here maybe and say time to get movies from DB. So I'll put a semicolon here and I save. So I put here run and I clear everything. So if I click here, you see time to get movies from DB. So let's go ahead and do that logic faster. So we'll have to write that method again inside our inside our object. Inside this movie model. So that is the better way of organizing your code. So everything about movie model is inside the movie. Everything about another thing is inside, so that you should not confuse this to that to that. So the method of getting the movies from the table, I'm also going to put it again inside the movie model, so that if I want to update something, everything will be inside the movie model, other than mixing things in different ways. So I'm going to put here the logic of getting movies from the database. Okay, So let's go ahead and create that method inside the movie model. So we know it is going to take time, that method. So we have to make it in future. So I'll come here. This was for inserting. I'm going to create another one for displaying or for selecting. So I'll come here and call it what? And call it future. So we will expect it to return back a list, okay, of movies, okay. So it's going to be future, and then you open this square bracket and then put list, and then open square bracket of movies. So we will expect it to return a list of what? Of movies. And then you give this method a name. So I can call it maybe get items. So it will be responsible for getting movie items since it's inside the what? So I will come and open bracket here and put the curly bracket here. Now, since this method, I want to call it even when I have not created the instance of a movie. I want to call it from anywhere. So it's better I do it static. So you have to put here static. So making it static means that you can even call it before you do what? You create this instance of this movie. So you'll see this guy warning. Why is it warning? It is because we have not done what? We have not returned what we promised here. So let us go ahead and create a temporary list. Call this one list, and then say of what? Of movie model, and can call it maybe items equals to empty. Okay, so by default is empty. So let us always return here. So that is a simple skeleton that we can create a list of movies. Movies. Empty. Return. Why is it crying again? What are they saying? I have to put this on async. So I have to make this guy asynchronous here because it is future, right? So yeah, that's it. Now that is a simple skeleton of getting data from database and return it, or getting data from anything and return that is going to be asynchronous. So let us go ahead and now do the logic of getting data from real um, database. So to do that, you can come and cheat. Okay, so search for select. Come to our SQLite, search for select. Okay, so you'll find different ways of how you can select. This is one way. There are so many ways, but I'll show you. I think the best way, the best way to get information from movie, I mean from database, but you can come and practice all. Yeah, I think this is the best way, right? This is the best way, but you can come and practice the remaining ones. So let me go ahead and explain that way. So I'll come here to my table, I mean to my database. So the first thing, I'll have to make sure that the table is created as how we did here, and the table is opened. Okay, so I'll come and make sure the table is created and the table is opened. So I'll come here. The first thing that I do, I make sure the table is created. So I'll call the table create of this. Why is it crying? So it is crying because it is outside. Okay, so how to put this dot create table. How can I call this guy? So it is outside the static. Okay, I'll assume it is created. Okay, so the other thing, I'll have to make sure that the database is open. So I can just simply say db.is open. So if it is not open, I'll return an empty array or an empty list, or can as well return this guy like this. So in case it is not open successfully, I'll return an empty list of movies. So if it is open successfully, then it will proceed to here. So I'll have to uh, loop like this. I'll remove this guy. I'll explain this step by step. So this is how you get data from what? From database. So you just simply say list of maps. I don't want to show you useless things, so I have to delete where necessary. Okay, so let me see this. Yeah, it's going to be a list of map. Okay, so this is how, yeah, this is how you get it. Okay, so it's going to return you a list of map objects. So you say list of map just say list and then put map and then put maps equals to await, then you put db, this db dot query. Okay, so dot query, then you pass here the database name. I mean the table name. The table name already have it here, so I'll have to paste it here. So the next thing, this is where you pass the columns that you want to use the conditions for. For example, you want the movies which have maybe specific words or maybe specific thing. So you can specify this here. I mean, if you want specific columns, sorry. If you want specific columns, maybe you want only the IDs and the title, you can specify here in this method of columns. But for me, if I want everything, I'll have to remove. So this is really much more better. So if you want to maybe the IDs and the title, you can specify maybe that I want the ID like this, say ID, and then maybe say I want the title, something like that. Title and maybe only category. But this is optional. So if you remove this, they will return for you everything. But that is how you can specify. So you should be knowing how it is done. Now this is the where. So in case you want to put the condition, maybe you want the movies which are having rating of more than 3. Maybe you want the movies which which were made, which were acted by Jackie Chan. So you'll have to pass the where here, and then you have to pass maybe the argument of where here. But for now, let's just get everything from the database. These arguments, I'll show you how you can get them later. So it is also optional. So if you want everything, you remove this where. And then this argument, it is where you want to. So I'll go ahead and do like this. So it means that db query and pass the database table name, it will return for me only the specific table. But if you want to see the details of everything that this method of query can possibly take, just simply please click here and then you'll be able to do what? To see the possible details, even the order, even the limit, all that you can be able to do what? To save. So let's go ahead and get this map. So, and let us just return here, return the thing, return the items, okay? So we'll always return items. So let's go ahead and display the number of items that has returned. So print dot item dot what dot length, okay, just to display what has come from database. So that is our simple method that you can write to get the data from what? From database. It is really, really simple if you practice it. So that's it. So let's go ahead and now call this method. So we'll simply come to our database select, and you know this method can be called statically. Okay, so I'll come to this screen, and when you click on this, to call this get movies. So I'll just simply come and remove this and say db dot what dot get items. So you know it's also going to be what? Asynchronous. Okay, so I have to put here async, and then come and put here await. So that is how we can get the movies from database. So I'll save, I press Ctrl and click to come here to the method. Then I click on run, and then I click clear everything. I click, can you see? 8 items are received where I got. That's so beautiful, without error, without anything, with just that simplicity. So now our task is to now convert those map object into now our real list objects. So to do that, I can just simply come here and loop. Okay, so I can just simply say if map are not null, I know it's not be null, so I can just simply say dot for each, I mean for, sorry, for, just put maps dot what dot for each here like this. So that is how you can loop through each of these maps. So if you want to see how these maps look like, you can just simply say maybe this one element. Okay, it's coming to element. So it's always recommended that you use the other for instead of what for each. Okay, so this variable element and then something like that. That is better way. So I can just simply say print element like this. So if I save, come and delete everything here, you can see these are the JSON object that have come back, or the map object that have come back, which is so beautiful, right? So our task is going to convert these guys into what we want, or the movie objects. So I'll come here when it will be looping. Let me first paste this what has brought back. So when it will be looping, I'll be creating now the object, okay, of movie model. So I say movie model, I say maybe M equals to new movie model. So I'm now doing what? I'm now creating this object, okay? This, okay? So I'm creating the movie model. So I have to initialize it. I mean to put now its right parameters. So I say m.id equals to, so this is going to be our id. I can get it here from element, and then I put here id like this. Okay, so if you want to be safe, you have to make sure it's an integer by maybe using something like this, int, and then dot parse, maybe to string like this. So here to make sure that it converts it to what, to integer. Then we put here now title. So title is going to be m dot what, dot title equals to element, and then you pass uh, title, maybe put to string like this. And then you have actor, and then like that. And then lastly, category. So that's beautiful. So after, we have to add this into our temporary list of what, of movie items here. So dot what, items dot add m. So I'm adding this item to the movie. So like that, we'll be able to go out to get the movies. And then after, we return the movies. So that is a simple method. You can pause the video and look at it. It's really simple and beautiful. Now let's go ahead and now get the movies from the side. So I'll copy this. I come now to the side of the screen, and then I create a public variable which is called movies. So it's going to be initiated by saying movies item equals to await. Okay, await. So it will wait for these movies to come from database, and then it saves them here. So let me print here what we have come from database. So I can say print, then say movies from DB, and then I put here like this, then put dot what, dot length, and then there I'll be able to get the movie that has come from database, that have come from database. I save, I put run, I clear, I click. Beautiful. Movies from database, 8 movies. That is so nice. Now let us go ahead and display these movies, right? We're going to display now these movies. So to display these movies, we're going to build a list dynamically of Flutter. So if you want to build this list of Flutter, you can come and search. Even me, I have never memorized it, but you can search it manually. Say maybe Flutter list view builder. Okay, so it is very simple. Let's call list builder. So you can, if you have grepper, it will always be on top, so you can install grepper and use this guy. Or you can as well come to Stack Overflow. Here the first search result, you'll see it. It's very, very simple way of list building. This is just this is the way how you build this. Very simple and straightforward. So I'm going to copy that and then come to remove this column. I don't need this column here. So I'm going to paste there my what? My list view builder. Okay. This is just simple. Just list view dot builder, and then put the number of items that you want to build, and then put here the user interface in the item builder, right? That is it all. So for example, I want to build 6 items. I just say list view builder. Just write this piece of code, and then maybe say return text, and then maybe put I dot to string dot to string like this. So here we'll have maybe 6 items. So if I do like this, can you see? I have 6 items that have been built dynamically. If I want 600 items, so I just save. You see, 600 items have been built dynamically in just a second. So now for us, we want now to have our real items. So our real items. So I can just simply come and say, instead of putting item count, I'm going to put this our movies count. Okay, our movies count. So I'll say movies count here. So movies. So instead of items, movie item dot length. So this is bring the length of movies and put it here. So if I save, you see we have 7 movies. So if I want to display these movie items, movie IDs, I can just simply create maybe here in the builder, say movie model, I can say m equals 2. Then I put this list and then I pass the index. Here they'll be giving me the index, this I, and then I put a semicolon. So there I'll have got the movie that is being pointed at. So if I want to display the movie titles only, just put m dot title like this. So you see, you have the movies there. So beautiful, right? So beautiful. So now let us write a better user interface. So to write a better user interface, we'll just simply do it like this. So we can do what? We can do list tile. You still remember our list tile? List tile. So we put the title. Title is going to be a simple text, and then you put the movie title. It's going to be it's going to be m dot what dot title like this. Boom. Have the movies there. What else? Want to display maybe the subtitle. Subtitle is going to be text, and then maybe want to display uh, the category and the actor. So I can just simply put here, say by, and then I pass m dot what dot actor, a Jack Chan, and then I put a dash and maybe the category, and then put here uh, m dot what dot category. So that's so beautiful. So we'll be able to get the movie. So avatar by this guy. So and yeah. So it's so beautiful, right? So beautiful. So I want to put maybe the what else have we not displayed? I think that's it. I want to put maybe the delete button. So I can put trailing, and then I put um inkwell, and then I put child. It's going to be icon, and then you put icons dot what dot trash. Is it trash? Oh, is it what is it? The maybe delete. Yeah, the delete. Yeah, that's the trash. So I can maybe even change its color to red. Okay, so I haven't put here maybe on top, and then I put open and put this guy here. So that is going to be here on trailing. If I want to delete, I'll be clicking here. Okay, delete. So I can put maybe even edit. Okay, so I want to put now what else? I want to put edit. Okay, so maybe we'll work on updating. So edit, I can come here and put here leading, and put edit. So I have to remove this red color. So I have to change this guy to what? Edit. So work on the logic of edit in the next class. So edit. When I want to edit, I'll click here. Okay. So that's so beautiful. What else? I want to have maybe a plus icon. So to add a movie, you should be able to click on a plus somewhere and then takes you to the screen of adding movie. So to do that, I'll have to come to app bar and put what we call actions. Okay, actions, and then I can put here maybe my again inkwell. I can just come and copy this inkwell. Okay, inkwell, this guy, only this, I remove this. So inkwell, and then I put icon, and then I put here maybe plus. I can say is it add? Yeah. So I'll have here the add side movie. So maybe I can give some padding. Then you can get some container, and then give it some padding, so it can be visible. Padding edge insert dot only left. Sorry, right can be 10, so it can be visible. Maybe I can say 20, and then I can also increase the icon size, maybe 30. So if someone wants to add, you can simply click here to add a new movie. So let's link this add movie to its screen because the screen is already there. So to add to link that, I'll simply come here and put um, our main menu. What is our main menu? Where is the add movie? It is where? Insert this one, right? So I'll have a copy this navigator, this one that takes me to screen. So I'll come and put it here. So I save, press Alt and Enter, I save. So when someone clicks here, you'll be able to add a new movie. Okay. Now, lastly, now let me show you one last thing that you didn't know. So if I come here, if I come back and again click on what? On movies, you'll see the movie is not displayed. Movies will not display because I have not put the method to be called automatically that retrieves the movies from database. So to do that, I'll just simply come and do this what we call init state to listen to the initialized state. So you have to put here init, I mean on start. I don't know. Is it? I think it's somewhere here. It's not there. Here, it's called init state. So I have to override this init state, initialized state. So in this initialized state, you have to call this method of getting movies automatically, get movies. So you have to get movies here like this. So it will get movies automatically from the database when it starts. But getting movies, let me show you. So here I will have to maybe put, let me show you, print, say, found, and then say, so you will see this method will be called automatically when our screen is open. You see, it is being called automatically, but the problem is it is not updating. So if you want to update, you have to update the state. So you have to add here set state like this. So it will have to update. So now when you click on open, you see movies are automatically being updated. Let us add one more movie, maybe which one? Kung Fu Hustle. Kung Fu Hustle. Maybe you can say Don Yen, and then movies action. Then I save movie. So movie saved, and my form is reset. And then maybe I can add another movie. Maybe Things Fall Apart. Let's see. And then I come and say it is love story. I save. So save successful. So now if I come here, my list is not updated. Why? Because I've not discussed about states. But if I come and open it afresh, you see the list updated. So I will teach you how we can work with states later. So that's for us, everything is okay and there's no any error. So that's makes it for our today's class. In the next class, we'll work with delete, we work on edit, and then we work on other interesting thing that we may find in what database, and then we call it whole topic of working with offline database. So I hope you found the lecture useful, and I recommend you to practice, work as you do it as a practice, so that you can get these skills, so that when you have an idea next time, you can be able to do it by yourself. So that's it for today, and in the next lecture we'll have to resume from there. So